let's say like a Nike pair of sneakers. I don't care about the digital format of that. What would you say? What are you currently seeing right now? Is that realistic to think that in the next 5-10 years, we won't care about the digital?
Just take your iPhone, go to settings, open screen time, and take a look at how much time you spend online. For me, it is like 5 hours at my phone and 5 more hours at my computer. So out of like 14 hours that I'm not sleeping, I spend 10 in the digital world, right? So for me, the answer is quite clear. And especially for the younger generation, take a look at how they spend their time. They're constantly on their phone. What's yours?
Yeah, I'm checking right now. I wanted to see my screen time. Total screen time was about 8 hours. That's a lot.
Every day?
Yeah.
8 hours a day.
Welcome back to another episode of Girl in the Verse, the video podcast, the place to be if you are new to Web3 or curious about crypto, but you don't want to get too technical. This is for you, friends. As always, before we get started, I invite you to smash those likes, hit the comments down below, and please subscribe to the YouTube channel. I do say YouTube because if you are listening to this podcast episode on Spotify or your favorite audio app, we are currently on YouTube as well. So you can come and check us out. Now, today, my guest is Alex. He's the Chief Strategy Officer and co-founder of Rarible, a leading blue chip NFT company powering established and emerging brands and creators. Alex, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much for inviting me over. That's very exciting.
Alex, just as we're getting started, what separates Rarible's NFT marketplace from everyone else? We know there's a few other ones. Why Rarible? Why create Rarible? What's the story behind that?
We started very early. When we started, there was just one other marketplace, maybe a couple other marketplaces out there. There was OpenSea, there was SuperRare, and I think there was Maker's Place, although I'm not sure. So there was a couple of them. And back then, OpenSea was an open marketplace for secondary market trading. So you can, if you have an item, you can come there and list an item. But if you don't have any items and you wanted to create an item, there was just a couple options, and both of these options, they had the restrictions that you needed to apply to be a creator on these marketplaces and wait in line for maybe a couple months and then get approved to be listed on the marketplace. Now, curation is very important for the art scene because it allows you to like elevate people and educate the buyers on who is important. But we felt that in the spirit of decentralization and openness, you don't need to ask a permission to be able to create an item. And we pioneered as the permissionless minting platform where you just connect wallet, you can upload anything, and you can create your item without asking anyone's permission. And that felt like a true spirit of what the Web3 promise really is.
Maybe explain that, Alex, for those who are, potentially new to Web3 or they're an artist or like, hey, I'm thinking of potentially selling my art. What does this mean? Decentralization, permissionless. What were you currently seeing, in Web2 that wasn't working, that didn't fit the narrative of what we're currently seeing now? If we had to go back 2, 3, 4 years ago, why have this sense of we want to give people the freedom to do what they want?
This so goes all the way back when the Web3 was created as a money. At first there was Bitcoin, then there was Ethereum, and I'm coming originally from like not the Western country that has an open economy, that has access to banking, and that's why finding out decentralized money, cryptocurrencies early on was like a revelation experience for me, that I felt like I'm finally the part of the financial system. I can have my account with money. I can send them anywhere. I can accept them from anywhere in the world. I can come to anywhere in the world and instantly find the cashier who will be able to exchange that for the local money. So I finally felt like the citizen of the world of the internet. I The only thing I need is a living visa in any country to become a person. I can move my assets in with me, all my assets with me on my phone. When you have it, you feel freedom. You can come to any country if you have a visa, and just live there. Our items that we create in the growing digital part of the world. When I started to be nomad, I understand that I have a suitcase of things with me that are physical, and I have a warehouse of digital things. I own a ton of things online, subscriptions, files, content, and subscribers, followers on social networks. And currently, in the current Web2 system, it doesn't really belong to me. You rent them from big companies, and big companies give you space, they give you account. They, of course, they try to make everything better for their creators because that's how they make profit. But in the end, it's not a direct ownership. You're renting, you're owning things through the intermediary. And that is the big Web3 promise of, let's make the users the ultimate end owners of the thing. With NFTs, you have your content in your wallet. If you don't like the wallet, you can change the wallet. You can use the same 12 words, you can import them into another wallet, and you'll still have everything the same. If you don't like the marketplace, you can connect your wallet to another marketplace, and you'll have all the same content there. If you don't like the app through which you use it, you can connect your wallet to another app on Lens, and you will keep your content, your followers, your profile. It is yours. And that is the great feeling of living in the Web3 world. You feel like everything is yours, and you are in the full control. You don't need to ask people, you don't need to beg.
At first, my partner was talking to me about crypto and I didn't understand and I didn't care until I understood that I could start owning my work as a content creator. And that's how I got into this space because, I also felt that, I've been constantly posting content on social media and I don't own it, and someone could easily copy it and there was it didn't matter, right? So I love that you are also saying this, which is, it's realizing that you start owning your stuff. And I think for a lot of people still today, when they're not in Web3 or when they're like, this is a scam, it's because they still don't understand that everything they're currently doing or using, it doesn't, they don't own it. They don't, they can't do anything with it. They could just use it, but it's not theirs. And I think, until people start understanding that, we're still going to be in this space of like Web 2, Web 3, what does it all mean? So thank you for that, because that really is why I entered this space. It was this idea of owning my own stuff, which I think is super powerful.
It is super powerful. It has some downsides too. You need to be self uh self-assuring. You need to remember these words, or you need to keep track of everything you have. If you lost your password, there is no big corporation that is going to come help and restore that for you. You need to be careful of scams, because that is the Wild West.
Can you tell me a little bit more about Rarible's community marketplace products?
Yes, of course. So um this is a little longer to unpack. We started as this one big marketplace, and then in the community aspect of that was, we are constantly in chat with the community. We're talking to the community. We're asking what should we implement. We're asking who should we add, who should we highlight, what should we promote. And then we created the governance token, the RARI token, that is the governance token of the platform with which you can vote on the future developments. So at some point there was a question, what is the next step for all of that? What is the next step for the platform? NFT just started. The potential is so big. We have art NFT, and we have profile picture avatar NFTs so far. There is pretty much the two basic use cases for NFTs. There will be so much more. There will be ticket NFTs. There will be decentralized like metaverse shoes, digital goods, there will be services, there will be digital land, there will be everything. And how do we fit it all under the same platform? Uh, NFTs feel cultural, fun, and engaging, and it doesn't feel right to have them all under the same just like marketplace umbrella. Um, we picked that route of Shopify when you can create a marketplace for yourself, and we felt like it speaks better to the decentralized vision that there is just no big marketplaces, but there is a ton of marketplaces work on top of the infrastructure. We created the infrastructure layer. That's going to be a little bit hard for the newcomers in the space, but that's like a, just basically a technical platform that you can use to create your marketplace on top of. And this one is connected to the RARI token today, and there is a set of marketplaces that work on top of that. So now, getting it a little bit more real, who can use it? If you are a project that has their own NFTs, for example, PFP collection, we launched a community marketplace for Pixel Vault or for MFers or for CryptoPunks version 1. So they have the dedicated marketplaces where that are hosted on their own websites, that are like fake items free because you have only your items there. There is no just like open world in which you can find something that is not real. Custom branded experience, custom color, and in future, a way to communicate with your audience directly. The big part of the Shopify is the communication stack, sending emails, sending marketing materials. So this is also coming to the space. And we worked with some more traditional brands like Fox. The creators of Rick and Morty did a new TV show on Fox, Krapopolis, and they created items. Very big toy company that works with IP such as like Batman. They have their own items that is on Polygon and the new Fast Chain, and they have their own marketplace. And we just launched in a marketplace on the same stack for Mattel. Mattel, which is the super known toy company that produces Barbies and Hot Wheels, and they used Flow, which is the blockchain without gas prices, on top of the same infrastructure. And the cherry on top, we have a tool, a self-service tool. You can come to the Rarible Marketplace, you can click Create Marketplace, you can select your own collection if you're an artist, and you would have your own marketplace, and you can start growing your own marketplace. You can add multiple collections. If you have 5 collections, that starts to be very useful. We have aggregation. So if your item is listed on OpenSea, it will be listed on your own marketplace as well. People would be able to come and buy. So you don't lose anything. You're not getting an empty marketplace. It has every item that you created, and it has every listing from other marketplaces. So that is the self-service tool, and there is already 3,000 marketplaces created with that self-service tool.
That's very interesting. So what I'm hearing is that if eventually these creators or these artists, apart from their PFP or the NFT, if let's say they want to start selling merch, is that possible? They can do that within that marketplace. They can start selling other things within that same webpage.
Today, it is created to sell NFTs. So if you created merch in the form of NFT, for example, you buy a digital item and then you've got like a physical item shipped, that's not the primary use case. The primary use case is more like creating the gateway for everything you ever created to live under your own website, under your own domain. Rather than have a link tree in your Twitter profile sending to 5 different collections on 5 different marketplaces.
So what trends are you currently seeing emerging in the space right now from when you started to what you're seeing now? Is it this sort of like utility of having a sort of Spotify version for creators and artists? What are you seeing right now that's trending that you're like, "Oh, let's start thinking about this or let's start adding this or this is it?"
Non-financial use case, I feel like this is
Mm.
the trend in the Web3 today. Using Ethereum is expensive. You click
Yeah,
buttons and you need to pay gas prices, $30, $50, $100. So it's like early days of the
more.
internet when you click buttons and you lose money on it. Uh, I had a friend um, who I asked to do something, and he said, "Okay, but can you cover gas prices for me?" I said, "Yeah, sure." And whenever I click these buttons, my ETH balance just goes down, and I don't really notice that. But he said, "Can you send me over like a banking account this gas prices?" And I sent him. That was $100. I sent it from my like monthly budget bank card, and I was like, "That's expensive." Because it is expensive, it opens up the use of blockchain, of Web3 technologies, mostly to the financial use case. I want to buy this for $10,000. I want to sell this for $20,000 tomorrow. Pretty much everything else is excluded. Uh, we're seeing very nice example like Lens. Okay, I can't stop repeating that. Uh, you have a social network built on Polygon. Every post is the NFT on Polygon. Every follower is an NFT on Polygon. And interacting with it feels very natural. You just click buttons and it's free. The Polygon is covering gas prices because it's much more cheaper for them. uh, Polygon is covering gas prices for Lens. Lens just created their own version of decentralized network. So it is the Web3 technology that doesn't have a financial use case, that is not expensive to use. And we're seeing the many more other things like that.
So you're
With
saying the trends you're seeing is more of a layer two, potentially another layer two that comes in on Ethereum to cover those costs.
well, there is 5 layer 2s that are today on the market and that are popular. Arbitrum, Optimism, Polygon is leading for NFTs, of course. ZK EVM, ZK Sync Era, that is what its name. We have Scroll, which is another zero knowledge layer 2. We're coming to the difficult technical terms here already, but those are the scalability solutions for Ethereum. Those are things that would make Ethereum faster. It is 10 times cheaper to send the transactions on this layer 2, and you still keep being connected to this ecosystem. Those that are currently 5 of them that have, they would take the main stage. And the most important would be, oh, what are the new applications, what are the new apps that use this to enable something fun that wasn't possible before. For example, many of these scalability solutions was created because of the need of games. Early in, Early Ethereum had several games such as Gods Unchained. Gods Unchained, it's the Hearthstone on blockchain. Basically, you have all the cards tradable. You can sell them for real money. You can mint them. You can play with other people. They couldn't use Ethereum because it was too slow and too expensive. So creating new applications that are now possible, like YouTube became possible when the fast internet came to our mobile. Like creating new applications that are possible with this L2 is what I see on the market.
Alex, what is your definition of an NFT? If you still, have people around you that are like, what is that? What is that? What is your definition? What do you tell people?
I tell them that this is a digital item. I still have this mental model that is the most close with it. Uh, Today, we don't have the concept of digital items. We have a concept of content. This content can be copied and replicated. So NFTs, it allows you to own your item directly. It allows you to sell this item, buy this item. You can bring it anywhere with you. It's yours. And this item, it has, you can see it. So it has picture, uh, it has text, it has description, so it has metadata, what we call it.
And when you say this, digital item, digital space, I mean, I have friends still today that say, well, it doesn't matter to own it digitally. Like people still think, well, I just want to own, let's say like a Nike pair of sneakers. I don't care about the digital format of that. What would you say? What are you currently seeing right now? Is that realistic to think that in the next 5, 10 years we won't care about the digital, or are you more of the fence of it's going to be even more important to own it digital versus physical?
Just take your iPhone, go to settings, open screen time, and take a look at how much time you spend online versus how much time you spend offline. For me, it is like 5 hours at my phone and 5 more hours at my computer. So out of like 14 hours uh, of a daylight that I'm not sleeping, I spend 10 in the digital world, right? So for me, the answer is quite clear. And especially for the younger generation, take a look at how they spend their time. They're constantly on their phone. What's yours?
Yeah, I'm checking right now. I wanted to see my screen time. It actually does say I spent 3 hours and 56 minutes. So about 4 hours screen time. But if I go into all the activity on a weekly, it was total screen time was about 8 hours. That's a
Every day?
lot.
eight
Yeah.
hours day.
So yeah, I like that answer. That's a good. I should start saying that to my friends. Go check your screen time. I like that answer a lot. Because it's true. It's once you start noticing how often you're using, your phone or whatever it is. I mean, I see it too now for myself. I've opted from removing a camera to just using the camera on my phone now, right? It's like we're just constantly trying to get to the fastest way to do whatever it is we were already doing in the past. So love that, Alex. That's a good one. Um, what are you seeing as the future of NFTs? And how do you see Rarible evolving to meet these changing demands of the market? And I say this because 2 years ago when I entered, it was NFTs. I FOMOed into a lot of projects. I wanted to buy every single NFT project, thinking it would moon. And today, it's less about the NFT, more about coins and meme coins and shit coins. So, what are you currently seeing as the future of NFTs?
I feel like NFTs today have kind of an identity crisis. A lot of people came here for NFTs to not have fun, but uh, to gain financial just growth, and that's not like what always happening, right? And that's why people are like, oh, nobody needs NFTs, right? Like you have this disappointing reaction, while NFTs just began and digital items space is big. All businesses, all brands now opening their digital strategy, digital sneakers, digital shoes, digital hats, digital fashion, digital goods. So
Music.
music,
Music is another one. Yeah.
um, NFTs will suffer for a little bit, and this suffering will make everyone think, okay, we probably should change something, and the space will reinvent itself into much more uh, verticalized, much more professionalized, better IP, better pictures. The technology will commoditize. The will be commoditized. The technology would be okay. Everybody now knows NFTs. It's not a secret. There is variety of software that they can use. Now, how are we going to apply it will be the main question. How are we going to apply it? And there will be a ton of new ways. How are we going to apply it? And Rarible evolves into this lower level set of tools that would allow people that applied NFT in a new way to utilize our technology and software. So that is our like promise and vision, that we're not stopping there. The monkey pictures is not the end of the NFTs. The the great online world where everything is an NFT, it's affordable, and you don't lose $100 every time you click a number, is the future for NFTs. And it's a long game, it's a multi-year game, it's a 10 years game, and we're still too early. We're helping other people to come up with this new ways of using NFTs.
Rarible also has a token, RARI, that's been around since 2020. You guys launched. Can you tell us more about this decision to create the RARI governance token and how it's fitting into the larger Rarible ecosystem?
Yeah, it's a great question. um Rabbit token, and in general, when the project launches a token, it is opening up a piece of uh, ownership of the project to the public. That is what it basically is. It is community owned, community governed platform. You can vote for people to be present in the municipal government. So replicating that in the digital space, to not have the marketplace belong to one person who will utilize that as control, but marketplace belonging to the people that will vote and use democratic processes to say what will be the future of that. Over time, our vision evolved from being the Rarible Marketplace as this infrastructure public good to the Rarible protocol to be infrastructure and public good, and marketplaces are to be like the houses built around the common road. So Rari token today is the governance token of the Rarible protocol, of this infrastructure, of this thin layer that will power the next generation of applications and use cases of NFTs.
Okay, so it's not like a DAO because we hear about DAOs a lot, but this is different.
It is a DAO. The DAO is
Okay.
Decentralized Autonomous Organization. It is
Yeah.
usually just several uh, points. I'm pretty sure you'll have somebody deep in the DAO to discuss that on this podcast. But it is the organization operates, but by several principles that the decisions are made in public, the decisions are made by democratic vote, and we all collectively own some part of like treasury, some funds that we operate.
And can people, if those who are interested in potentially getting some of these tokens, is there still possibility to do that?
Sometimes, yes, there are programs. Okay, let's allocate the portion of the budget to the program. And one of the latest programs was, let's select 5 of these community marketplaces that are the most promising and create a program where people would be able to farm tokens by using these marketplaces. Uh, these 5 marketplaces have not yet been selected, and
Okay.
they will be selected in the future, and you would be able to farm these tokens.
Okay, so keep an eye out for those who are potentially thinking of getting some Rari tokens. So, Alex, before we go, what can you tell us? What is the future of Rarible and what new developments or features can users expect to see in the coming months, years, decade? I don't know. What is your vision right now for Rarible?
You can expect our self-service tool to create your own marketplace to evolve. Currently, it's fairly limited. The marketplace you see is like quite templated. It feels like unoriginal. It will become much more original. You would be able to customize many more things on that marketplace, layouts, collections. And on the main Rarible marketplace, we are going to do more minting things. So the minting to create, because the vision is again that all the coolest NFTs are yet to be created. Let's build the tool that would allow to create more interesting NFTs.
Love that. Thank you so much, Alex. I want to invite everyone who is watching right now to drop some comments down below if you have any for Alex or myself. We would love to do, potentially a second episode answering your questions. As always, you can come find me on every social media platform. I always say the juiciest conversations are happening up in my DM, so feel free to reach out to me on Twitter, on YouTube, on TikTok, on Instagram, on Facebook, on every
Yeah.
social media platform. And of course, please click all the links down below. These are the official links. You'll be able to find Rarible, the marketplace, and more information about Alex all down below. Thank you guys so much, and we'll see you guys next time.